new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, Prime Minister Davis drops a bombshell on the FTX scandal, declaring that every single local creditor has been fully paid. Also, the nation's top cop is reporting a plunge in crime just 2 months into the new year. And later, the battle for the crown ignites as Miss Bahamas Universe season kicks off. Could you be the next queen to claim the title? The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. I'm Devontae Hanna. Thanks so much for tuning in. Off the top tonight, the now defunct FTX officially began chipping away at the massive task of reimbursing creditors after its high-profile collapse at the end of 2022. Now, according to DLNews.com, on this past Monday, February 18th, the failed crypto exchange company began its first round of repayments in the United States, targeting those with smaller claims. The article noted that some creditors have expressed disappointment that FTX repayments are calculated using November 2022 asset prices. But if you ask Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, there's no disappointment here in the Bahamas. He touted in the House of Assembly last week that all FTX local stakeholders have been financially rewarded.
100% recovery for all investors. All investors plus, right? And guess what? The court awarded our Securities Commission $10 million, right? For the work that is done to enable for the protection of those investors, to enable them to be able today to smile to say, well, you got all our funds back. When the doom and gloom was being spewed all over the world. We focused, we stayed focused, and we did what we had to do to ensure that that's what you should be talking about, and that's what you should be proud of.
Well, in other news, Commissioner Police Shanta Knowles revealing she is pleased to see a drop in crime in the country, particularly regarding murder. At this point in the year, there has only been 12 murders recorded when compared to 2024. The country had already seen 21 by the end of January. It was the deadliest month of the year, which saw an 8% increase in homicides compared to the year prior. Last year, the Davis administration unveiled its crime-fighting strategy dubbed Clear, Hold, and Build, which Commissioner Knowles, upon taking office, fully adopted. She laments, however, she remains cautiously optimistic.
I believe that the good work that the men and women of the Royal Bahamas Police Force are doing, their commitment, their dedication to ensuring that our Bahamian people and those who visit our islands are safe is certainly contributing to that. But then, of course, members of the public are also assisting us, and I want to say thank you to them for assisting us in our policing duties day to day. And so, again, I encourage my men and women to continue to be out there on our streets. The people need us. They are seeing us. I'm hearing the good works from the people in the community, and I believe all of this certainly contributes to what the numbers, the low numbers that we're seeing, and we're hoping that and praying that it stays that way.
Well, a year after that robbery, major robbery that is, of vital equipment at the Bahamas Red Cross Society, they have yet to fully recover. President of the Red Cross, Edison Sumner, revealing this much last week. He confirms several suspects have been already arrested, but many of the items stolen, he says, have yet to be returned.
The matter is in court. As a matter of fact, I think we appeared in court last week on that matter, so we're still waiting for the court to adjudicate. But we understand that there would have been some recovery, not a lot. We had quite a number of generators that were stolen, and I believe out of the 10 to 15 that were actually taken, that I'm told that maybe one was recovered. The rest of them, we're still working on it. So we're waiting to get final reports back from the police and to see what comes out of the court case.
Well, both the Red Cross and the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they hope to strengthen their partnership in 2025. Last week, the leadership of both the organizations gathered for a luncheon to discuss symbiotic plans. The lunch was prepared by Red Cross staff and served by student volunteers. Red Cross Bahamas President Edison Sumner says the organization leans heavily on the support of the police force, and the kind gesture, he says, is just to say thanks.
And the idea for that is to really to get them to have conversations with their counterparts on the police force. You know, we're going to be talking about things that has to do with community involvement. We talk about the police's involvement in Red Cross events and activities. For example, the police sits as a part of our fair committee, right? And they sit on other committees of the Red Cross. So we're going to be talking about how do we further expand that collaboration between the Bahamas Red Cross and the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Well, Police Commissioner Chantineau says she is happy for the gesture and she is eager to begin talks.
I'm elated to have been invited for this courtesy call and luncheon with them, and I have with me my senior executive leadership team. And so it is a pleasure to be here. I do believe that this will further strengthen our relationship with the Red Cross and certainly the work that they do in the community.
Well, the National Women's Advisory Council is placing its efforts toward empowering women nationwide through its National Women's Symposium taking place Saturday at Bahamas Harvest Church on JFK Drive. The symposium is the result of a collaboration between the council along with the Ministry of Social Services. It welcomed hundreds of participants representing various NGOs dedicated towards women's rights. Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Honorable Miles Lorota, explaining that while women have accomplished a lot within the last few weeks, more work is still needed to be done.
For the benefit of women, there still remains a lot of work that left to be done. And so I'm here along with the ministry in support of this symposium to encourage women to continue to raise their concerns and issues as it relates to their mobility in our society.
Well, National Women's Advisory Council Chairman Sharmi Farrington highlights the importance of events like these, which she believes provides powerful platforms for women to network and exchange ideas.
It's good to have all women come together. We thought if we do a national effort, then we can have a cross-section and diverse section persons coming into the room to talk about topical issues that affect women. We wanted to make it a national effort because we feel that the women's agenda have been sort of scattered and divided. So what we wanted to do is provide a forum where all women can come together, speak with one voice, and have one plan, purpose.
Well, still to come, SpaceX gets the green light on its environmental checks after its controversial landing. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. More news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
Hey, honey, you got nothing for me yet? Can I tell you why I get no money? At least not yet. I get my money. Managers. Oh, I don't upload it.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Your check is ready.
Thanks. I can put a little thing. You got it?
Money managers, responsible lenders for responsible people.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve
when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas President of the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get. If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
Welcome back. Well, ensuring there were no environmental hiccups during SpaceX's historic booster landing here in the Bahamas meant a series of checks and balances, a process that started nearly 2 years ago. On the list, satisfying the Department of Environmental Protection and Planning, responsible for issuing a certificate of environmental clearance. Well, according to Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, studies were also conducted by BRON, a leading environmental engineering agency. That report was set to be released this past Thursday.
I think what we want to assure the Bahamian people is that we didn't enter this lightly. We were very measured and deliberate in our approach. We recognize that there are still some questions and still some concerns. And over the course of the next week or two, we're going to ensure that we respond to every legitimate concern or question that's raised, particularly by environmentalists. So I believe we are all aligned in terms of our national interest, and the government is always resolute in ensuring that any investor, big or small, anyone performing any activities in the Bahamas, comply with our laws, our rules, our guidelines, and protect our overall well-being and our environment.
All right, well, the Deputy Prime Minister spending Sunday morning in church. He congratulated officials at the Highway Church of God during their final service of its 60th General Convention at Church of God Temple in Coconut Grove. DPM Cooper thanked the congregation for all its efforts thus far, marking it as a spiritual backbone of the community.
It's good to be here on this, your last day of the 60th anniversary. And I want to particularly congratulate you and thank you for the great work that you've done in our communities across the Bahamas. You have not just been active in bringing souls to Christ, but you have been feeding the hungry. You have been nourishing our youth. You have been teaching them music. And you've been standing in the gap for many.
Well, General Superintendent Bishop Denzel Roll delivering the convention's final sermon, urging members to continue using their acts of good work as a means of healing the nation.
The healing of the land is subsequent to the glory being in the church. If there's no glory in the church, there's going to be no healing in the nation. We can attack and we can charge and we can put programs in place, but until there's glory in the church, there will be no change in the nation. So church, don't allow nobody to pressure you into becoming government. We are not government, we are church.
Well, the highly anticipated Miss Bahamas Universe pageant is fast approaching, and if you've ever dreamed of stepping into the spotlight, now's your chance. This year, the competition is bringing exciting new features designed to empower and equip young women for success, both in the pageant and beyond. Our resident beauty queen, West Calix Forbes, has the story.
I am looking forward to young women who are going to come with drive. You will hear me say that a lot because it's who I am.
Do you want to be crowned the next Miss Bahamas Universe? Well, this is your chance. Miss Bahamas Universe 2024, Salvini Gregg, and organization chairman Anthony Smith has launched a membership drive to entice young women who are interested in becoming the next contestant for the 2025 season. They boast that this year's pageant will focus on two main areas, mentorship and personal enrichment, and at the end, a one-year modeling contract and more.
And of course, the ultimate prize is to compete and represent the Bahamas as an ambassador at the 74th edition of the Miss Universe pageant in Thailand. And the Ministry of Tourism, obviously, their role is important because whoever wins, much like Salvini, they're going to be a part of the employment team at the Ministry of Tourism.
When asked what does it take to represent the country as Miss Bahamas Universe, Smith emphasized that it's all about putting the country first and being a voice for important causes. And believe it or not, it's not just about the crown. It's about using your platform to make a difference and inspire others.
It's a task, it's a duty for country first. It's a selfless one. It's an act where if the young woman is sincere about a platform and a passionate project, she is prepared to do it with a kind of passion and commitment, because that's what it requires. And also a sisterhood. Selvinique has been one, if not the most popular delegate we've had under us so far as the public outreach.
And hear it from the Queen herself, with a focus on personal growth, mentorship, and empowerment. Salvinique was just like you, one who had a dream and made it come true.
Then asked to me today, when do I know, or how did I know that it wasn't time to give up? And I said, because I still had that desire, that burn, and that fire inside of me. I have a mirror in my hallway. I would still walk up and down the hallway as though I am a queen, as though I'm on the runway. So that just shows how the fire never burned out. So if it is something that you truly want, go after it. It's going to be the best experience of your life, especially if you fight for something.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Wes, well, Hugh Campbell is heating up, and Amajal Knowles has all of the details in sports right after this break.
Get the glow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. Got that thing good enough to eat and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat and it's good to grow.
In kitchens across the Bahamas, the fiery kick of goat peppers is a familiar taste. But for Chantel Ferguson, it's the heart of a growing business. Sourcing these vibrant peppers from local farmers, she crafts rich, flavorful spices and sauces that bring the essence of the islands to every dish.
Kind of like I stumbled across dealing with the goat pepper. Basically, one day I made some sauce, and I sent them to my brother, gave him a little sauce that I make that I normally, we all have a way of preserving our peppers. So I just sent a little bit of it with him, and he called me back, he's like, hey, where you get that sauce from? It's like, that bad. He's like, what you talking about? That's just a little something that I do just to preserve the peppers so they don't go bad. He said, you need to market that.
What started as a passion for bold flavors has now turned into a brand that's catching the attention of quite a number of Bahamians. With every bottle and jar, Ferguson isn't just selling heat. She's bottling the essence of Bahamian tradition, one pepper at a time.
A lot of people ask me, why goat pepper? I love my country, love being a Bahamian, and I just feel like we're losing too much of ourselves, and because goat pepper is something that's ours. Since I got started in the business, I understand also that goat pepper is gradually becoming extinct, and I would want to keep something that's ours for as long as I possibly can.
And her products aren't just regular sauces and powders. Ferguson continues to push the limits by adding peppers in unlikely places.
So my customer favorites are basically like the candies. What I did, I took the traditional Bahamian berry peanut and coconut cake and added a little gourmet twist on it with goat pepper. And then also the lime and pepper seasoning. That's everything you basically need in one packet for your seafood. But basically in our household, we use it on everything from seafood to chicken. We use it on vegetables. We use it on food. So yeah, and then also the hot sauces. Those are basically the favorites.
So if you're interested in trying any of Ferguson's products, head on over to Facebook and Instagram for more details. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Welcome to your Sunday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. 8 teams, 4 games, 3 rematches. The Air Bradley Gymnasium packed on Saturday night as it played host to the pool semis, the 41st edition of the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. No need for any intros. Let's get straight to the highlights. And the opener, setting the tone for the rest of the evening, would be a clash between the BAISS champions, the St. John's Giants, and the GSSA champs, the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves. The first showdown between the two schools would be much closer than this one. Anatole continuing to look like potentially the team to beat this year. Powered by 14 apiece from Cavell Ferguson and Derek Francis, they would cruise to the pool finals with a 71-49 win. Game 2, another rematch. The Grand Bahama champs, the Tabernacle Baptist Falcons, locking up with the Armbelly Pacers, who are hoping to shock the world. Well, that dream lasted all but 5 minutes. Tabernacle using the formula they did in the first meeting on Friday, and that would be to completely smother the Pacers, forcing 32 turnovers and holding Armbelly to 31% shooting from the floor. Tabby winning this one easily to advance to the pool finals, 51-30. Game 3, in arguably the game of the night, the reigning Hugh Campbell champions, the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, would face the St. George's Jaguars out of Grand Bahama. The Rattlers would get out to an early advantage in the first half. After a fiery talk from head coach Darryl Sayers, the Jaguars would find their momentum in the second, powered by a spark from guard Isaiah Roca, who had 27 on the night. But ultimately down the stretch, reigning Hugh Campbell championship game MVP Tayshawn Stewie Butler would be too much for the Jags. 2 of his 23 here. Rattlers punched their ticket to the pool final 72-58 to set up a much-anticipated rematch with their GSSA rivals, the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves. And in the nightcap last year's Hugh Campbell runner-ups and winners out of 2 of the last 3 championships, Sunland Baptist Stingers took on the C.C. Sweeting Cobras, who hope to ride that wave of momentum of their big win over the Stingers on Friday. Early on, it would be clear that the Stingers would be locked in for this one. They would be the sharper and more aggressive team early on as they would get out to a double-digit lead at the half, but the Cobras would not go down without a fight, surging back in the final quarter to get the game within 5. But ultimately, they would run out of gas, and Sunland would prevail, hanging on for the 61-53 win, setting up a pool finals that will pit Nassau versus Nassau. C.I. Gibson will take on Anatole. And of course, in the other bracket, all Grand Bahama, is Sunland will face Tabby, and the stakes don't get any higher. A spot in Monday's Hugh Campbell championship game on the line. And of course, that game will be broadcasted on both the ZNS television and radio networks. You certainly don't want to miss it. And the Sir Durwood Knowles National Junior Sailing Regatta coming to a close last evening after 3 days of intense competition out on the Montague foreshore. Last night's ceremony, the minister responsible for regattas, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, thanked the young sailors for their efforts, including braving some rough seas.
We are proud to see the winners who will grace the podium to claim their rewards for the hard work, their talent, and sailing in some of the most roughest waters we've seen at a regatta. I told someone today that I'm not sure if even the C-class vessels would have sailed what we're seeing today. So I want to thank the young sailors for braving these rough weather. You can see that these young people are already making and establishing their own legacies while proving that the next generation of Bahamian sailors are highly skillful and talented. So we congratulate all of those sailors on their outstanding achievements. Your victories are a celebration of your hard work, talent, and we certainly are pleased to see that all of you will continue for the high standards to follow. For those who may not reach the podium this time, know that your journey is not over. I mean, I lost 2 elections before I won 1, so I'm sure you could go to a couple regattas before you win 1. So just understand that every challenge is faced with opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. So your determination, your resilience that you continue to have.
And as for the overall team winner, that would go to the Exuma Sailing Club, topping all 4 teams with a total of 33 points. And that's going to look at your sports on this Sunday. A check on weather when we return.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
It's now time for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us now. I know, Basil, this week's weather is much better than last week. What can you tell us, though?
Good evening, Devontae. Another beautiful day around the 700 islands of the Bahamas. Few clouds, temperature 73 degrees, relative humidity 62%. The winds out of the northeast at 11 miles per hour. The barometric pressure at 1,019.7 millibars. That's 30.11 inches. And your pressure is steady. Temperatures around the island, 71 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Greenville Key, Marsh Harbor at 70, 71 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini, 72 degrees, 72 again in Harbour, Rock, Sandy, Lutra, Alderstown, Island at 73, Fresh Creek, Central Andros, 74, Camp Bay, South Andros, and Black Point, Exuma at 75 degrees, over in San Salvador and Rumkey, the Mercury column at 73, Georgetown, Exuma, 74, Clarence, Long Island, Ragged Island reporting 75, 75 also in Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Meguana, and in Acklands, Matitown, Nagua, another 75 in the Turks and Caicos Island. Right now, that temperature profile at 77 degrees. And the boating forecast tonight in the northwestern islands, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide, that will take place at 10:02 tonight, and then for the central and southeastern islands, the winds will be easterly 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So we're asking small craft to continue to exercise caution in the central and southeastern islands. And then on Monday, for all areas, the winds become southeast at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide on Monday, 11:09 in the morning, with the high tide at 4:53 in the afternoon. Satellite pictures showing that old front boundary near the southeast Bahamas, and that will gradually waste away, but there's another front on the way. It's now approaching the southeastern United States. We'll get into our area beginning Monday night, where we will see an increase in clouds and shower activity heading into Tuesday morning. And your forecast for tonight, clear to partly cloudy, 70 degrees for your low temperature, and tomorrow it's going to be breezy in the morning, some sun, then turning cloudy with a couple of showers as that front boundary gets a little closer. High temperature tomorrow getting up to 78 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, things will go downhill as of Monday afternoon and Monday night. and the wet stuff will be with us through Tuesday, some of which will be heavy at times. And then come Wednesday, skies starting to clear up, and we'll see mostly sunny conditions heading into the late part of next week and into the weekend. Temperature-wise, it's going to get up into the 80s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then things will drop off as we head into the weekend. But those nighttime temperatures, not at all. We're looking at the upper 60s for the next 4 days, and then they'll fall up into the low 60s as we head into the weekend. Devontae?
All right, thank you so much, Basil. Well, that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information source, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Devontae Hanna. Thanks for watching, and good night.
In Harbour Island, North Peninsula, I'm Charles Fisher. This is ZNS.
In this 21st century, a resident voice cries out for the empowerment of the poor, reinstatement of the outcasts, restoration of the abused, and the simple preaching and teaching of the gospel to